Hello Tattooed Athletic Club and welcome to the first edition of Tattooed Athlete. In this episode I sit down with Madison Perkins, who's the co-owner and gym manager of Ute CrossFit in Salt Lake City, Utah. Madison and I connect on his background in cheer and band, which led to him getting into CrossFit. And then we touch on Madison's relationship with Tommy Hackenbrook, which led to his move from Oklahoma to Salt Lake City. Then we dig into Madison's 4 tattoos and the stories behind them. And then we go into what's next for the Ute CrossFit community and Madison's fitness journey. Enjoy. Hello, Tattooed Athletic Club, and welcome to the first edition of Tattooed Athlete. I'm Lambert Budzinski, and I have the pleasure of sitting down with Madison Perkins, who is the co-owner and gym manager of Ute CrossFit, which is my home gym. I'm a proud Ute CrossFit member. I'm excited to have Madison here. Madison, thanks for being here.
Thanks for letting me be on here, bud.
Of course, man.
Of
course, Madison and I obviously have a lot in common in terms of fitness, but more than that, we're both tattoo enthusiasts.
Yes.
Madison, we have 4 tattoos.
Yeah.
4 tattoos, awesome. I think I've got 7 or 8 or something along those lines. Enough about me, Madison. Tell me a little bit about where you're from. I know you're not a Salt Lake City native.
Nope.
So tell me a little bit about that.
If you can't tell by the way I talk, I don't sound like I'm from here. No, so I'm from Oklahoma, from a little town in southeastern Oklahoma, about an hour and a half north of Dallas. So basically it's like a hop, skip, you're over the border of Texas. So it's kind of like that's where I grew up. And the town I grew up in was around 2,000 to 3,000 people, so super small. Like I graduated with 88 people. So you knew everybody. We didn't really have like many sports to offer, and the ones that we had I didn't like. I don't know. But yeah, so I can go deeper into that. But no, basically the town I grew up in, it was just me and my buddies just skateboarded all the time and rode our bikes. But yeah, I moved out here about 4 years ago. Lived there my entire life, literally from age 2 till 28, I believe. So my whole life, basically, lived there.
88 people. I mean, how many members are at Ute?
Oh, 160.
Okay, so more people at Ute CrossFit.
Double, yes. Exactly.
Yeah. No, that sounds about right. So what brought you to Salt Lake?
The gym. So the gym, Tommy Hackenbrook, he is our other co-owner with me and my wife, Brittany. So he put on his Instagrams, it was 4 years ago, actually 5 years ago, that he needed a gym manager. And at that time, I'd been coaching for about 3.5 years. And at my old job, I can go into depth about it a little bit more, but basically I worked for the Choctaw Nation, the native tribe. And I was done, like on moving up wise. Like I was a coach and I was a fitness counselor, meaning I just kind of like wiped stuff down and cleaned. But like there was no moving up. There was no like, you're now the sole purpose or person over this CrossFit, whatever. It was like I was done. So wanted to kind of grow a little bit more and see what it was like to kind of manage, and Tommy had posted about that. So I actually tagged Britt in it. She was like, go for it, see what happens. So shot Tommy an email. He's like this big, CrossFit god to me. I was like, man, it'd be cool to meet him one day, kind of a thing. And sent him this email. I was like, hey, like here's what I do. We took a CrossFit gym that met twice a week, and it was I think we had like 12, and it was a women's only class, Tuesday, Thursday. So when we left, we had 200 plus members, and I think we had 10 classes a day.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
And so it was pretty cool I kind of had that side of things, and Tommy just needed someone to step into the space, and so he was like, can you come in and manage the space? And that was what he was needing. So I sent him an email saying all that, and I wasn't even expecting a response, to be honest, because it's like it's Tommy. It's like emailing, I don't know, whatever. But
it's
anyway,
like he's just shooting a rocket message.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Let's talk.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Same thing. So equivalent. But no. So he reached back and was like, I'm not really sure what I need, but I know we need something. We need someone to come in and kind of breathe life into this space. And I was like, cool. Let me know. Like I would love to. It's scary, huge step, but whatever. And then he was like, I'll call you at some point. So he gave me a phone call, and we probably talked on the phone for like an hour and a half. I think it was. We talked, it could have been 10 minutes. You know what I mean? It flowed. It was like, yeah, exactly. I was super pumped, couldn't believe it. Like, it's funny on my phone, it's like if you get emails or something like that, and someone calls you and said, maybe Tommy Hackenbrook. And I was like, a what?
Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah.
And but yeah, so he was like, can you come out for an interview at some point? Like, I'd love to meet you and your wife, see what's going on. So this was like, I think November, like 5th or 6th, something like that.
And what year was it?
This was 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, so the end of 2015, he was like, can you come out for an interview? I was like, yeah, sure. You know, when were you thinking? He was like, I don't know. I was thinking like early December. And I was like, oh, that's like less than a month. I think I have $40 in my bank account. Like,
just got real.
Sure. Yeah, man. I was like, yeah, sure. I'll make it happen. Tell me a date and I'll be there. And he was like, all right, how about December? I think it was like 2nd or something like that. I was like, sure, I'll be there. I had no way of making money. I was like, had that money. I was like, Britt, we're going for this interview.
Yeah.
So, like, worked my ass off, somehow got the money, bought us plane tickets. We landed Friday morning, did the interview. Like, it was basically like, hey man, how you doing? What's going on? He's like, there's a class going on. Here's the workout. Go coach.
Yeah.
I was like, I've been here for 10 minutes.
Sure.
All right, let's do this. So I just jumped in head first. Coach, like, Tommy standing in the back, you know, watching me. Like, all of his coaches are standing back there, and they're like, I was like, well,
that's intimidating.
I was super intimidated. I was like, all right, guys, so you know.
Right.
And I remember we did med ball Turkish get-ups, and I was like, Tommy, I've never done these before. And he's like, all right, well, great time to learn. I was like, all right, guys, never done these. Let's see what happens. So I kind of demoed, but anyway, so it was cool. Like, we landed Friday morning. Hung out with Tommy, did the interview process, worked out with their games team the next day.
Oh, cool.
That was intimidating.
Yeah.
They were just basically like, if we're going to go to the games, we're going to go and win. I was
Right.
like, I'm used to local comps.
Yeah,
They're just hoping that I get like 5th.
Right.
You guys are talking about going to the Super Bowl and winning.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, so we hung out all day Saturday and then flew back home and landed back home Saturday night. It was super quick. It was way cool.
And then here you are now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So you mentioned before, you know, Ute CrossFit, before Tommy, before Choctaw Nation, not a whole lot of athletic interests prior to that. So tell me about that. I know it's a little bit unique.
Yeah.
Certainly the first that I've heard. So
Yeah.
But tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so growing up, my older brother, he was the star baseball player, catcher. He was so good, like, man, like everybody talked about him. Like, they're like, man, your brother is so good. He's one of the best we've ever seen, you know. And I was like, cool. I tried baseball in like elementary school. I tried basketball in elementary school, and I was like, not for me.
Right.
I was like, I don't want to be anything like my brother, so I'm going to go the opposite direction. So I chose music. So I tried out for band in 6th grade and was in band from 6th grade until I graduated in a music degree in college. So it was just, I tried 2-a-days in high school. I've ever told you about that?
2-a-days football, right?
I did, my junior year, there was probably like 4 or 5 of us that were like, let's try football. I was like, all right, screw it, let's do it. So we did 2-a-days, and of all of my friends that tried it out, I was the only one that finished it.
Oh wow.
One buddy never showed up. 4 friends of mine showed up first day.
Oh, yeah.
1 friend showed up with me the next day, and then I was the only one that finished out the rest of the week.
Right.
I got hit by our like lead player. He like laid me out. We're doing the Oklahoma hidden drill, which is not a thing anymore. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Laid me out, got up, and I was like, Coach, not for me. I'm going back to band. So yeah, I was in band, and I don't know. I just never had an interest in like sports. Like obviously being in band my whole life, and you know, being in a marching band. I knew football. Like when I'm watching it, I know what's going on. But I just never had like the interest in playing sports and stuff like that, just because of a lot of like the stigmas for me in high school was the people that played those sports were like the popular kids, and I didn't fit in with those kids. So, but no, I was in a band all the way up until literally 6 years of a 4-year degree into college. Yeah, I got 4 years in with my music degree and was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Mm-hmm. So I took a bunch of health classes, and then that's when I tried out for cheerleading, and kind of goes that way too. But
yeah, no, I gotta hear about that.
Yeah.
Wait, but first, what instrument did you play in band?
Percussion. So anything drums. Yeah. So played percussion and went to college. It was fun. I had a blast. Like I said, I got like 3 years in. It turned into like a job. My 4th year, I was like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. Like I tried being a music performer, which is like you have to be like crazy. I tried music education, and I actually had a professor who's intro to music education. He stopped me probably after like a month and a half in. He stopped me after class. He goes, Madison, I just want to talk to you. Like I don't know how to say this, but I don't think that you're ever going to be a teacher.
Oh wow! All right.
I was like, oh, okay. Like I agree with you, but
right.
But okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And so like I just like literally just stopped doing any kind of work in that class. So I was like, well, I can't be a music teacher. I can't be a teacher. Like I'll never be a leader in that kind of sense.
And what school did you go to?
So it's called Southeastern Oklahoma State.
Okay.
It's a little D2 school.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's where everybody, it was like either that one or one other college, and it was like a rivalry. And that was basically it in the whole southeastern part of Oklahoma. But yeah, so 3.5, 4 years in, I was like, I want to start doing something else. I took an intro to like health, and the teacher was awesome. Like he was just like, he reeled me in from like day one. And I asked him, I said, what's a hard class to take in the health field? And he goes, take physiology of exercise. He's like, if you can pass that class, you can pass any of them. I was like, all right, sign me up. Done. Took the class, got about halfway through the semester and realized I could literally sleep in pass this because I just enjoyed it. And it was just so good that it was just like, it came easily. And I was like, man, like this whole like sports thing is actually kind of cool.
Not so bad.
No, it really wasn't. Right. So then these girls approached me, and just because like I'm loud, super outgoing, they're like, hey, you're allowed to just try for cheerleading. And I was like, well, I've always wanted to learn how to do flips, and I did flips in high school. Oh yeah, I did backyard wrestling in high school. That was, forgot about that. That was my sport, you know?
Oh yeah.
You know, fake fighting.
Listen, I don't want any part of it.
Dude, we hit each other with chairs. Buddy of mine went through a friend's windshield. Like, I hit my friend in the face with a flaming 2x4, burned half his hair. We did dumb stuff. But yeah, so I learned flips doing that, just on a trampoline. Yeah. And these girls were like, you know, come with us tumbling once a week. You can learn flips. And I was like, that's cool. Let's do this. And then I learned about like partner stunning and like the athletic side of cheerleading. I was like, that's way cool. So I tried out, made it, did that for like a couple semesters, and then I love tumbling so much that I found like we're having to drive to the next town over to go tumble or whatever. So I found a tumbling gym in our town, and I went and met with the lady. I'd never met her before. I was like, hey, my name's Madison, and I've done cheerleading for a couple semesters. Would you let me teach your classes for free? I've never taught. Teach me how to teach. I'll teach them for free if I can tumble in your gym. Right. So she's like, sure. So she spent 2 months like I shadowed her. Like learned how to actually teach people to flip and what to watch for and teach cheerleading and stuff like that. And I had access, so I'd go in by myself and learn flips and stuff because I was too big for people to spot me. So I was just learning how to flip on my own and do all this stupid stuff. And I went and I taught from like anywhere from like 4 years old up to like literally taught a cheer camp at a college. Oh, cool. It was way cool. Like I was way out of my element. They're like, how do you do this? I'm like, I can make it up, but this is how to do it, you know? Yeah. So I've never done that. But so I did cheerleading. I enjoyed it. I thought the athletic side was fun. And then I had a friend in college. His name was Walton. He played drums with me, and he was like, hey, come work out with me. I was like, I don't know how. Never really worked out.
I don't know anything about those weights.
Exactly. I was like, yeah, you have to be born to be athletic, right? Like you have to, those are the genes you get. Sure. And he's like, no, man, I'll teach you everything. I was like, all right, whatever. So I went and worked out with him a few times. It was cool because he taught me like how to bench, how to squat, taught me all the things. And one day he was like, hey, we're gonna do this thing called CrossFit. And I was like, all right, what is it? And it was at CrossFit.com. So in 2008. Okay. And I was like, all right, cool. And it was Angie. It was the hundreds workout. So I couldn't do a pull-up, period. So he had to stand behind me and hold me at all 100 pull-ups.
Like cool running.
Yes, just like that. And then my push-ups were on the bench. I couldn't do all the sit-ups. My squats, I'm sure, were atrocious. But it took me, I think, an hour and like 20 minutes to get all the way through that. I think I did it in like 4 or 5 minutes, probably like 4 or 5 years ago. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's cool. But anyway, so I did that, and I was like, I'm never doing CrossFit again. That was terrible. But yeah, so after that, I was like, man, I need to start working out. I want to get stronger in cheerleading. Yeah. So like my first goal was to shoulder press 115 pounds. There you go. Because that's how much the typical cheerleader roll that you throw in the airways. I couldn't even do that. Like I think 85 pounds was my like 1 rep press. And I was struggling, So that's kind of where I started. And but anyway, so that's kind of like my progression through music for years, and then brought into cheerleading, which led into working out, which led into like wanting to own my own gym, but
which put you here in it.
Exactly, yeah. So it was pretty cool.
Right. So take me to your first tattoo, right? We understand your athletic background, how that progressed, and but how do you end up sitting in a tattoo chair, and how old were you? And what was your first one?
So I was 18. So I graduated high school when I was 19. I was old, an older person, I guess, in first senior. And my buddy was like, "Hey, I'm getting a tattoo in 2 days. Do you want to go with me?" And I was like, Sure. I was like, what should I get? And he's like, I don't know, just come up with something. It's like, all right, whatever. So I come up with this, I had this 7, so it's a 7 and a backwards F.
Okay.
So my wrestling name was Phoenix, F-E-N-I-X. So
Right.
that's where the F comes from. My full name is Madison Carol Perkins, beautiful lady's name.
There it is.
So,
yeah. So this is
Yeah.
this is pre-cheerleading?
Yes, this is pre-everything. So I was still in high school.
Okay.
And yeah, so I was still in high school and we went, I think I paid like $75 for it, I don't remember. But I drew the symbol up because that was my like wrestling symbol, that was my logo, and I was like, I'll get that tattooed on now, I'll never regret it.
Right.
You know? That's how I always go.
Yeah.
So I go in there and they're like, really, this is what you want? I was like, yeah. So they put it on me, it was just the outline, had nothing, no color in the middle, nothing. And so that was my first one. My full name, like I said, each one is 7 letters.
Okay.
So it's 777, so it's my favorite number, so that's why I had the 7 and the backwards F. But yeah, so that was my first tattoo, and I remember I saw this in show choir in high school. That's another thing I did, like singing and dancing. And I remember we had to wear the white tank tops, and I remember hearing somebody in the crowd like, "Oh, that's cute. He drew his own tattoo on." And I was like,
"This is my nightmare."
Yeah, I was like, "Lady, this is real." I really sat through it. It was like full, 10 minutes of tattooing, whatever. But yeah, so that was my first one, and I don't.
Do you still like it?
I don't regret it, but I don't like it. Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah,
right. Which we get to see every Tank Top Friday.
Yes.
Yeah. So number 2, what was number 2?
Number 2, I was thinking about it earlier. I think it was this one. So this one on my forearm is. My brother found this online. It's a piece of wood wrapped in barbed wire with these symbols on it, and it means bond of family, bond of brothers.
Oh, wow.
And my brother's covered in tattoos, like everywhere. Like he's the guy that walks in, picks something off the wall, and is like, "Yeah, put that. There's a blank spot." He's that guy. No rhyme or reason, just puts it on there. But right here on his forearm is like a big blank circle and then it in the middle.
Awesome.
So we both went in and got this done. Bond of family, bond of brothers. That's what that one is. And
yeah, I'm with you. I have the same matching tattoo as my brother.
Really? Do you really?
Totally good.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's way cool.
This is on his ribs, but yeah, we went same day, same artist, same exact artwork, just different spots. So totally related.
That's way cool. Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's way cool. Third tattoo is this one on my rib cage. So it's a giant cross. It goes literally from like my armpit, right? Kind of show a little bit, but it goes like from my armpit to my hip. It was actually a lady. She was a singer in college with me, and she was like, I found out she was a tattoo artist. I was like, hey, I'm really wanting a tattoo. My grandmother just passed away. Her name was Rose. My grandpa called her Rosie. She was my only grandma. She's the only person I ever knew. I didn't know any of my dad's side of my family, so at that time, so I only knew her as my grandma, and that's it. So I was like, I really want to get something for her, and so I was thinking about getting a rose on a cross with a bunch of like thorns and stuff like that. And she was like, wow, I really like that. She's like, I'll charge you $75 for the color and $75 for the outline. Well, I was like, holy crap, $150 sold.
Yeah, because color's not usually cheap.
No, not it's super expensive. And this was 7 hours. So that's normally, a lot more expensive than that. So went in and at that time, so when I got this one done, so this one was super fast. The thing that hurt on this was a shading, I remember that. When I got this one done, basically she was like, we're just gonna go until you can. And I was like, okay, cool, sounds good. She's like, when you tap out, you go heal up, come back, and we'll keep going. I was like, cool. So we got 2.5 hours in, and I was like, I can't handle it anymore. I was like, I gotta go. Like, it was to the point where it was like mind-numbingly painful. Because the ribs,
you're sweating and you're
so bad. So bad. Do you have any on your ribs? Or
I don't. No.
So the ribs, from what I understand, is the most painful spot. I had no idea before I was going in. So she gets to the outline, heal up, come back, do the same thing, heal up, come back, do the same thing. So we get 3 sessions, and I'm actually not finished with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of people can't really tell unless you really look. The bottom half is still gray.
Okay.
Because it was like, I feel weird having another tattoo artist work on a piece.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yes, and that, and like, I'm kind of scared.
Yeah.
To be completely honest, because it hurts so bad.
And how much time between the sessions for that?
I can't remember exactly. I think it was a month and a half, something like that. It was a pretty significant amount of time. Because I left, it was like bleeding for like days because of like all the color and everything. She was heavy-handed.
Right. Enough time for you to forget how bad it hurt.
100%.
Yeah.
And as soon as I heard me, I was like, oh god, here we go again.
Right.
But yeah, so I'm just laying like this for hours, and I'm a right side sleeper, so I couldn't sleep on my right side, so I had to like learn to sleep on my left. But yeah, and then after that, so I didn't get any more tattoos for a couple of years. I got this one right before I graduated college, so it was probably like year 3 of college, like 2010 maybe. Then when I have a koi fish on this side of my chest. The thought process behind that, whenever you see someone with a koi fish, what that means is the direction the fish is going is what they're going through. So if it's going up, that means they're still working on something, they're trying to overcome something. just like the koi fish, just like the fish swimming upstream kind of thing. If the fish is going down, that typically means that they've overcame whatever. So like drug addicts, people, stuff like that will get it. They'll typically get them in locations that are like raw. So like think of a drug addict here, they'll get them on their arm, whatever it is for the person. So me, I'm not emotional, but I wear my heart on my sleeve. Like I take things to heart. Like I'm very like let's just talk. If I hate confrontation. If something's going on, I'm like, hey, let's just talk it out. So like I feel that way. I'm always trying to overcome that. So I got the koi fish that's kind of going over. So it's like on my heart and it's going over. Like I'm trying to always overcome that. So I got that one on there just because it's, I don't know, it's just how, raised by mom, no dad. It's like, it was all just emotions, But yeah, so I got that one. That was my fourth one. So that was my last one.
So you had all your tattoos done before you graduated college?
No, so yeah, that's what I was thinking. So it's 3 out of 4. The fourth one, it was crazy. Like I remember going into it like, man, this is gonna hurt. Like I remember this one, it was so painful. And I'd been doing CrossFit at that point for probably around 3 years. Okay. 3.5 years, something like that. And when I sat down with the guy, he drew it on me with the marker and he was like, all right, cool, you ready? I'm like, yeah, let's get it rolling. As soon as he started, I was like, this is not at all what I remember. But I remember freaking out 3 times. Like I was just laying there and I freaked out in my head 3 times. Like I'm about to punch this guy. It's like, it hurt so bad, but I never moved. Okay. And I really pushed that with like CrossFit. Because CrossFit, obviously the workouts suck. You learn to like go through the suck, being comfortable, uncomfortable, all those things. He did it 3.5 hours. No stop. He stopped to go smoke a cigarette, came back and picked right up. I never stopped him. Outline, color, shading, everything, all at once. Because I was like, he's like, you need a break? I was like, no, finish. And I think it's because of CrossFit, like, set in a mentality that I can just suffer through this and know that it's going to be over. Right. And I kept telling myself, at some point, he's going to be done. Right. Set through it now because you'll be done quicker. So it's like, it was crazy. Like, when I finished, I felt like I went through a workout because I was just like, mentally, I was like, I'm done. Like, I can't do anything else for the rest of the day. Right. But yeah, so that was my fourth one, the last one I've gotten. Right. So what's next? More tattoos? Yes. So like we talked about earlier, the shoulder one. So the Phoenix thing, I really love the idea behind the Phoenix. It gets to a point, it dies, and then reawakens through its ashes and those things. So I love that just because, like, throughout my life, like I've started so many things and stopped, and like started like with music and cheerleading and now working out, and then like owning a gym, and then like becoming a gym manager first, and then learning that process, what that means, and then like actually being over people, and then now becoming a gym owner. Me and my wife in the like near future will be 100%, which I'm super excited about. Tommy's been a great mentor up to this point, but we finally figured out a point where we're going to move forward. But all that being said, like I feel like I've just started my life over so many different times that I just love the idea behind the Phoenix. So what I want to do is have from elbow up, it's going to be a full Phoenix. It's going to wrap my entire arm. And I want it to kind of cover this, but still kind of see it, like almost like the Phoenix is burning over it, And then from here down, I want it to turn to black color grays of just like the forest. And, that's awesome. Just I love the woods. I love living in Salt Lake City. You get the mountains everywhere. I love outdoors. I love like animals and stuff like that. So I want to have that kind of throughout here. So just a full sleeve. Right. Yeah. Do you have a timeline? Are you thinking, hey, this is going to happen in the next 5 years? Yeah, for sure. Within the next 5, hopefully within the next year. I would love to have it. It's just, finance is the hardest part about tattoo. So there's a cost for it. Yeah, there's a cost. There's a good meme that I've seen that I need to find again, but it's like, people talk about, why would you put that on your body? It's like, well, I get to take this in the grave with me. It's like, what else? What other things do I get to take with me? Right? So that's the cool part about people's tattoos. I mean, yours, mine, everyone I've talked to, there's a story behind it, right? Yes. And it's super meaningful. And obviously we relate on an athlete level. So the fact that we're able to bond over tattoos has also been super fun. So Phoenix tattoo, full sleeve. You like all the other ones? You're good with those. But so what's next for your fitness? What's next for Ute CrossFit and you personally? For Ute CrossFit is me and my wife become full owners. I'm super excited and nervous for that because, like I said, I've never done anything like this. But that's kind of going from there, and then kind of growing the gym just from there to kind of keep programs and keep people like yourself excited and want to come back and enjoying the community and enjoying CrossFit for CrossFit. Like it's sad, but I hear some gyms and stuff, they're not really like the old school CrossFit. You know what I mean? Like, let's do a barbecue out back, drink a couple beers, have a good time. But for Ute CrossFit, that's basically that. Is me and my wife becoming full owners and keep growing the gym and the business and the vision that we see and stuff like that. For me personally, like fitness goals, like if you haven't noticed from all the things I've done, like I can't like put my toe in something and just call it good. Like I got 100% in or 100% out. It's so hard. Like I come from like a family that's, I'd say we're pretty obsessive about things. Like you can even say like addictive or like obsessive, but so it's real hard for me to like just work out just for the health right now. You know what I mean? Like I'm just gonna go in for an hour and then I'm gonna leave. You know, so I'm just gonna keep, you know, chipping away, trying to become better than I have, you know, try to keep hitting PRs, trying to keep being better until I can't, until I feel things start to slow down or like my body's like pump the brakes. But no, like I actually just got a swimming at a swimming place, and I'm trying to go swimming once a week to get better at that, just because terrible swimmer.
Right.
But yeah, I want to keep doing those things to kind of keep pushing myself. Like weights, I don't know if I'll keep progressing, and you know, I hope I can. I'm not terribly old, I'm only 33, so I'm hoping I keep those weights kind of moving up, keeping up with people like you, because you get your shoulder press.
That's right. Big numbers there. Big numbers there.
I can split jerk that.
Do that
yeah, shoulder press and arm squats.
That's it.
But yeah, so I'm hoping to kind of keep pushing myself on CrossFit. Like I love doing local competitions. You know, like I've done some with you, and I would love to do more with you and like the other people at the gym. Like I would love doing competitions. Like it makes me sad to do them now because I'm like, man, I wonder what it would have been like to actually play sports.
Yeah.
You know,
it's all of that.
All of it. You know, it's like I was a band in the corner beating on the drum. Cool. You know, but no, I kind of miss. Like I'm sad that I missed out on that. So I think it's fun to compete with you guys, and I would love to keep doing local stuff. If it gets more than that, cool. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But if anything, I'll keep pushing myself to, as you've seen me, die on the floor every day. Like I got told you're not supposed to push 100% every day, and I was like, that's hard. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
For the past 9 years I've done this. So.
Right.
But yeah, so I'll keep pushing myself and keep working as hard as I can. Just because, like I said, I can't half-ass it. Like I'm 100% in, or I'm just gonna do something else.
Right. Well, and we certainly, being members of the gym, get that energy as well. And
that's cool.
It's been good. You guys have built an incredible community. We certainly love being there. So we're excited to still be part of the Ute fam, and I'm excited for you and Brittany and the future of Ute.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you taking the time, and look forward to talking to you soon and seeing your next tattoo.
All right, bud.
Awesome.
That was fun.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Matt.
Appreciate it.